So what comes into your head when I say this? The year 2020. I am sure not many good things, because the last year has been super difficult for a lot of us for the obvious reasons. Many have lost their near and dear ones, many have lost their jobs, and we have had to sacrifice on our bonuses, promotions, and whatnot. And that compulsion to stay at home for the longest period of time that anyone could think of, and then whenever you go out, that guilt into your head. Am I doing something wrong for my family by going out? And then also thinking about taking all those precautions and using that hand sanitizer for 1,000 times to an extent that your hands start to smell like alcohol. If 2020 was a motivational line, then it would read, life is short, don't chase the things that you don't want, chase a fulfilling life, so that when you are dying, and it can happen to any one of us anytime, you don't have a list of regrets. 7 bad habits that I'm going to make all of you aware today are exactly those habits that are taking us away from living a fulfilling life. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Number 1, not budgeting is a financial crime. Well, it's not literally a crime. You're not going to be put behind bars for it, but not managing your money properly would make you vulnerable for situations like the one we faced last year. No jobs, no bonuses, no promotions. What are you going to do about it? You never thought about a contingency fund. You never thought about an emergency fund. You never budgeted your expenses, because for you, budgeting is something that a finance minister does every year. Well, you're absolutely wrong if you have that notion, and I've seen very few people who, even after starting earning, they don't consider it important to write down or manage their expenses. They're just making sure that they're earning enough to cover their expenses, but they're not realizing their financial planning is absolutely a failure. If you are a smart financial planner, then you would know that after 3 years, for example, if you have to get married, after 5 years if you need a car, and after 10 years maybe you need a house, all of that you need to plan your finances. And how will you plan your finances if you don't know how to save, because you're not keeping a track of your expenses? अब budgeting करोगे कैसे? Sounds like very difficult. Like खर्चे कैसे मैं लिखना शुरू कर दूं क्या? लिखो मत यार. आजकल you have mobile phones, we have smartphones. I use this app called the Money Manager, wherein I put a record of all the expenses I make out of the bank or out of cash, all the investments I have. At the same time, I budget out ki every month I need to spend this much on food, this much on transportation. At the end of the month, I can see if I spent more or less. And if I spent more, I would understand कि हाँ अब मेरा investment कम हुआ, तो 3 साल बाद का plan या 5 साल बाद का plan या 10 साल बाद घर बनाने का plan, everything कैसे affect हो रहा है वो आपको समझ आना शुरू हो जाएगा. And you will also get to know कि हाँ ये वाले खर्चे मैं कुछ ज़्यादा कर रहा हूँ, यहाँ मुझे रोकना चाहिए. But वो आपको तभी समझ आएगा when you have a picture, a bird's eye view in front of you. Otherwise you will just end up earning and spending, and then you will think जो बच गया वो invest कर लो. That's a very clumsy and messy way to manage money. The next point. Just give me a minute. Actually, I have 2 WhatsApp notifications and 3 Instagram messages. Let me check them. It will take a minute. Exactly the problem. And it is not just social media. It is not the mobile phone that has to be blamed. It is our habit. It is the brain's habit to make us take compulsive actions. Remind us of the tasks which can be done later. But the brain would say, why don't you do it right now? It will just take a minute. It's the brain's message to you कि यार तुझे उस बंदे को फोन करना था, तूने करा नहीं. Do it now, it will just take a minute. Remind him that वो काम करना है. Now you are in the middle of a PPT or a presentation, or you're thinking about an idea, and you leave this beautiful productive space wherein you could have thought of the next best idea for the business you are into, for the job you're into, which could have given you a raise or which could have given you a new client. Get out of it, call that person, break your focus, and then come back and try to focus again. But you don't understand that breaking this focus and trying to focus again is all the problem we are trying to talk about. We're talking about the problem of people not being able to do deep work. Deep work is a term which was coined by Cal Newport, and there's a book on this topic by Cal Newport wherein he talks about how we live in an age wherein people have fragmented focus. They're not able to focus on a task for a set period of time. They will take a break, they will check their WhatsApp, they'll check their Instagram, they'll go and call their person, or they'll do 10 other admin jobs which they could have done later. But their brain says do it now because it will just take a minute. It is going to take a minute, but it is going to make you drain all your creative energy, and which essentially leads you to become a very mediocre output producer. Now, how can you control this? Whenever the next time your brain says, bro, छोटा सा काम है, कर लेना, एक कॉल ही तो करना है, एक मैसेज आया देख ले, बाद में कर लियो ये काम, ये तो चलता रहेगा ना. Write all those tasks down on a paper or in your laptop and then do it after you complete that particular task. 1 घंटे अगर पीपीटी बनानी है तो 1 घंटे के बीच में ना कोई मेल चेक होगी, ना कोई फोन होगा, ना कोई व्हाट्सएप पे मैसेज चेक होगा, ना कोई इंस्टाग्राम पे पोस्ट डाला जाएगा, because that 1 hour is specified for this. And that's when you will start doing more deep work. You will end up doing the same job in less time, and when you have free time you can do whatever you want to do, mere bhai. Number 3, not writing a diary. I cannot stress enough on the importance of this particular point, because I have seen myself grow emotionally and mentally very, very strong only because I have had this habit of writing a diary since a few years now. What exactly can a diary do for you, or what all do you need to put in there? You should write everything that you feel. If you feel good about a thing during the day, write it down. If you feel bad, write it down. Whatever you feel, what's in your heart, something that you wish not to share with your friends, family, anyone, just talk to your diary as if you're talking to yourself. जो conversation यहाँ करते हो वो उस paper पे करनी शुरू कर दो. Write a page every day, and I'm telling you, you're going to find exactly the kind of person you are. What exactly do you need in life to be happy? What exactly do you need career wise? What exactly do you need in terms of relationships? What exactly do you need in terms of every aspect of life would be more clear to you once you start writing it down. बिकॉज ये जो बातें यहाँ होती हैं ना, ये बहुत जल्दी उड़ जाती हैं. एकदम से एक थॉट आया, फिर दूसरा थॉट आया, यू आर नॉट एबल टू कैप्चर एंड गिव इट द इम्पोर्टेंस इट डिजर्व्स. एंड इफ यू ओनली रिलाई कि मैं उससे पूछूंगा, सबसे पूछूंगा, फिर एक डिसीजन लूंगा, तो फुटबॉल बन जाओगे दूसरों लोगों के ओपिनियन के. अपनी इनर वॉइस डाई डाउन हो जाएगी. Don't let your inner voice die down. You can only find your inner voice once you think thoughtfully, once you write it down, once you give it the importance it deserves. And I thank CA Ajiz and my mentor for giving me this habit. And you're going to thank me if you start writing this after this video. And I'm pretty sure it is going to change your life, and it's going to make you emotionally and mentally very, very strong. This is going to be about having a right start and a right end to your day. And I give credit to Robin Sharma for writing this book called The 5 AM Club, wherein he talks about how having a morning routine is going to make you a master producer and is going to differentiate you from the crowd. What essentially does he talk about? He says that if you become part of the 5 AM club, which essentially means you wake up at 5 AM, then the next 1 hour, which he calls the victory hour, is that hour, if you follow what he says in the book, then he says you're going to live a very controlled life and you're going to be ahead of everyone. You're not going to feel कि life मुझे धक्का मार रही है, पर आप उस दिन को पूरा कंट्रोल करोगे. इस विक्ट्री आवर में कहते हैं यू कैन नॉट यूज एनी गैजेट, यू हैव टू फॉलो द 20-20-20 रूल. पहले 20 मिनट वर्कआउट करना है, अगले 20 मिनट में मेडिटेशन करो 10 मिनट, 5 मिनट के माइंडफुलनेस एक्सरसाइज. माइंडफुलनेस का मतलब है जस्ट लुक अराउंड द थिंग्स, just be amazed and curious about life. That's what you have to do in those 5 minutes. And in the last 5 minutes, write down all important tasks which are very, very important, जो आपको उस दिन करने हैं, अगले 2-3 दिन में करने हैं. तो आपको अवेयर करना है अपने आप को कि हाँ ये मेरे इंपॉर्टेंट पर्सनल और प्रोफेशनल काम है जो मुझे ध्यान रखना है. एंड लास्ट 20 minutes you can spend listening to a podcast or reading a book. I prefer reading a book. Or he also stresses on the fact that you at least need a 7.5 hours of deep sleep. सोने से 1 घंटा पहले कोई फोन या कोई गैजेट यूज नहीं होगा. So once you have a good end to your day and a good beginning to your day, you will end up managing the day well in between as well. Number 5, organizing well. Organizing well is so important, and you will only realize the cost of it once you end up scrounging for your data whenever you need some. Organizing essentially means you like to put the right things at the right place so that when you have to find them, you don't have to look for these things at random places. Recently saw a video of Sandeep Maheshwari wherein he talks about कि उनको लाइफ में क्लैरिटी और ऑर्गेनाइज करना कितना ज़्यादा पसंद है कि उनके डेस्कटॉप के ऊपर भी कुछ भी फोल्डर फैले नहीं होते, वो उसको भी बड़ा ऑर्गेनाइज करके रखते हैं. And you would see this habit in every successful person, that he would not live a messy life. He would organize his things so that he's able to plan for them, और उसका टाइम जो कि एक बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट एसेट है वो वेस्ट ना हो चीज़ों को ढूंढने में. And by the way, if you like the content we produce and you would like to be updated whenever we publish a new video, then do hit that subscribe button and click on that bell icon so that you never miss an update whenever we publish a new video. You can also follow us on Instagram at @chartered conversationalist because we share a lot of valuable content over there. Back to the video. Number 6, Adamant Goals. यार goals तो पता है, अभी Adamant Goals क्या होता है? So Adamant essentially means जिद्दी goals, क्योंकि दिमाग बहुत जिद्दी है. I am not able to go to the gym because ... I am not able to do diet because ... I am not able to invest in mutual funds because ... We all know that these are all tasks which are very important, but we end up delaying them for no good reason. Because the brain only understands this one thing, it wants to have fun. And when you're talking about anything which is not per se fun, the brain is going to give you an excuse कि इसकी जल्दी क्या है यार, कर लेंगे, अभी लाइफ में तेरे ये सब भी चल रहा है, तो delay it. Don't pressurize yourself यार, have some fun. That's where we end up in this mess and we are not able to realize our goals. Now what is the solution? Adamant goals. एडमंट गोल्स का मतलब छोटे छोटे गोल्स जिनको अचीव करने के बाद आप अपने ब्रेन को एक एक्सरसाइज दे रहे हो. यू आर टेकिंग योर ब्रेन फॉर अ मेंटल जिम. अगले 7 दिन तक जिम पक्का जाना है, नहीं छोड़ना. अगले 10 दिन तक कुछ फास्ट फूड नहीं खाना, जितनी मर्जी टेम्पटेशन हो नहीं खाना. When you start winning these small goals, that's when you train your brain for the bigger goals, because later when you're pursuing your bigger goals, and that's when you'll challenge your brain and you'll say, I know that you're making an excuse and I've already trained for it, so I'll fight it the way I used to fight with you when I used to run for the small goals. Please respect the man's most inventive seat. Yes, we're talking about the commode. A recent study suggests that 90% of the people have had this habit of taking their phones while they go to the loo. Now there's a reason why they call that the most inventive seat, because a lot of people have confessed that the best of the ideas come during that time. Because that is the time where you're not doing anything, your mind is not preoccupied with any thoughts, and your mind is in a very cognitive state to produce or think of an idea. We hope that this video gave you some workable tips, some tweaks that you can do in your day-to-day life so that you can control your life emotionally, financially, and spiritually. We at Chartered Conversationalists wish all of you a happy and a healthy new year. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay ambitious.